Hello guys and welcome to our new Let's Build series. We are going to be building something really cool, hopefully, in this Let's Build series, and I'm going to show you things that I do, how I kind of do some things, and I'll hopefully have some like time-lapse material from it, so you'll see this will be like a combination of me building and then having time lapses of me building stuff as well. So what is it going to be? The idea that I have for this series specifically is something that I kind of did. It's based on a concept that I did when I very first started building like 3 years ago. Except that was really small and tiny and didn't look very good. So now I want to make it bigger and more interesting. And what is it? It's like it's somewhat of a Dragon Valley type thing. I don't really remember where I got the idea back then, but that's what we're going to be doing. So I've got my little arrow here. Let me grab my gunpowder as well, because we're going to be using some tools here, some voxel sniper. Let's go with the ball brush. V stone, that's fine. Let's go with size 5 maybe. Let's go with that. And we're just going to, let's go with bigger size. Let's go with 10. There we go. So first what we're going to do is lay out the terrain using this, using these balls. And so what this is going to be the river that kind of flows through the middle of the valley. And that's gonna go kind of like so. I think I remember back in the day I actually saw something that also had like a valley type inspiration, but it was much larger than what I ended up building myself. It's so weird to have a proper sense of scale when you're building something like that. So it's kind of interesting to, oh look at us already getting nighttime. Let's set that to 0. So this is kind of the start of it, and then here I'm just gonna take it up, and this is gonna go up like way up, way up. So that when you're down here, it's supposed to be like pretty impressive. So this is not very tall at all. How high is this? This is about 70, yeah. We got to go at least 150, I think, for the size. Somewhat, maybe 150, 125. This is probably good. This is pretty high as well. So this is just going to go along here and kind of get that shape that you want. You can already kind of give it a little bit of extra shaping, the way that you kind of want it to turn out in the end, and just really roughly place all these balls and turn that into something that looks like what you're going for. So that's on that side, then that's where the river is, then there'll be some land at first, so we'll have some land coming out there. And then this will be the river. Maybe it's like a little bit deeper like that, and then it comes up again with some more regular solid land. And then that comes out and goes back up again after here. And we'll go back up to around the same height, similar height. So that's gonna go, I think, around, and I want it to kind of continue over this way and move over here. So we're just gonna go, whoops. Okay, is this going in right? Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh no. I clicked a little too much. Here we go. Well, that's fine. That's what I wanted. I'm just gonna take it all the way around. I'm doing this on like a not very great server. So hence, oh boy. Oh no. Slash unstuck, is that a thing? There you go. There you go, see, it tells me. So this is kind of the rounded area, and then I want like something of an archway going across here. And that'll go like so. And then there'll be stuff in there. And then this will go across the way here. Whoops, that's a little high. Like so. And then maybe it'll go down a little bit. And go back up. And this is meant to be a valley, so this would be the surface and this is like where it goes downwards. And then that kind of, let's take it to about there, and that should be good. And we can have this come down, and then maybe there'll be a waterfall at one of the ends of it, or maybe it'll turn down. I'm not sure how that's gonna work, but that's kind of part of how I want the thing to look. So that's gonna go, and this is gonna come around and follow the kind of rivery path, like so. And then we'll have it on this side coming, and maybe that's a little thinner, and then maybe it widens out a little bit more here, and then that comes back around, and it comes back up here. And then basically what I want is a settlement to be inside and built against the walls of the valley. So that should be pretty interesting. And then maybe one section has like more flattened out, and maybe that's where their farm will be, something along those lines. And that should be pretty interesting. So yeah, I think now, oh, why am I on F3? Okay, so the thing now is, you've seen me do this. I'm gonna go offline, what? I'm gonna stop recording and do like a whole bunch of off-camera work, and then we'll return afterwards. Okie dokie, guys, we've got most of the thing planned out, balled out, I guess. I haven't done anything here because I'm not really sure what I want to do there yet. It might be something different, so I'm just gonna leave that open for now. What the next step is making this look like actual terrain. So I'm just gonna quickly go over how I go about that generally. I first changed to a fill brush, and then with a large brush size you can kind of it fills in all the empty spaces between blocks basically. So with that you can kind of smooth out the terrain a little bit, and you'll notice immediately that when you're doing that, at first it looks really, really bad and not, you know, not like proper terrain. So there's really a lot that goes into that. So what you're gonna do, you already saw me like going in with the gunpowder. The gunpowder changes it to melt, which is basically the opposite. The gunpowder always does the opposite to the arrow with most commands. So you're gonna use fill and melt to kind of turn this terrain into something that looks good and looks like proper terrain rather than all these balls. And then of course this is not always going to be enough, so you're gonna maybe change your brush size to 3 so you can be a little bit more precise and kind of work like that. Do a little bit of clicking here, a little bit of clicking there, and kind of shape the mountain into something. I'm just kind of generating some kind of little spiky little ridge thingy over here, and then that goes out to there. So for these big issues, I'd want to change the brush size to a little bit larger again. But for this, I'm just gonna do that, and you keep kind of sculpting it with these various brush sizes until it looks kind of satisfactory. Then you can go and use a blend ball and maybe start off with like a decent size. Whoops, that's a regular ball. /U does undo, /B BB, the blend ball, and that kind of just smooths out the area a little bit. But of course it doesn't do it in a very proper way. So after you've done that, you might go back again to your fill brush /BE fill, and maybe go back to a smaller one again, maybe 4 this time, and just kind of change it and make it more natural again, and not have it so calculated and straight. Because that is one of the biggest things with terrain, is that it has to look natural, and it can't look crafted. It has to look like proper terrain. And the thing is, in nature, there's no right angles, so you're not gonna have things like this, where it's like shunk plunk. I mean, obviously every angle is right because it's cubes, but you know what I mean. You don't want the shapes to be like that. So that's kind of how you would do that. But then what I like to do is go in manually, because you just can't do everything with the tools. Sometimes you have to go take your fists and just kind of smack away at it, and that way you can really get the best results. That's how I try to get the best results, is to after you've done everything with the tools, you kind of just go in with your fists and you start smacking around and making it look natural and getting rid of those stupid straight angles, and you know, making it look interesting and nice. And let's get rid of this ugly one here. And in that way, you can sort of get it to look just how you want it. And now you can see that this is a much nicer ridge now. You can see there's some troubles going on there. Maybe I'll do that. Get rid of a lot of it at once. And then there's these things where it starts to go straight as it goes to blend into the flat terrain. And that's just more of the same, where you want to kind of just expand it out, make it look more natural and all that jazz, and then have that gradually transfer into flatland, and then have that whole thing look nice and special. So yeah, that's my little really short basic tutorial on how to do the terrain. Obviously for this whole thing, I'm probably not gonna go into everything manually and do that whole thing, because it's gonna take a lot of time. And it's a YouTube series. It's not like this is the work of a lifetime. I'm not gonna spend the whole episode. Maybe that's something afterwards, after I've put in buildings and dragons and all that stuff. Maybe then I'll go and fix up all the bad things that don't look exactly right. But for now, I'm probably just gonna go and make it look better. Maybe not the best, but yeah, hopefully we'll get a nice little time lapse of that for the end. And then that'll be the end of episode 1. So here we go. Okie dokie, fellas. Have I been off camera for a while? I think that was about 35 minutes that I was working. Obviously, there's still a lot that needs to be done. It's not perfect yet. I haven't even started on that area. But, well, I've got things to do today, so can't really spend all my time with this. Another final thing that I will show is that, what was it, this? Yeah. Overlay D3 V dirt. B15, 16. Obviously this is gonna need grassing and all that stuff, so basically for that you take that overlay brush, use D3 for a 3 deep layer, and then you can kind of just go over everything and paint the terrain in the right color, I guess, in the right thing that you need. I'm just gonna use this dirt for a 3 deep layer, which is like how normal Minecraft terrain looks. So then that can kind of turn out well. Obviously I'm gonna paint it stone for the stuff that I'm not done with yet, and then repaint it later. But just to show you guys kind of how it's gonna look once it's all like fancied up, you can just kind of topsoil this, and then once you've got everything covered in dirt, you can grab the same overlay but set it to D1, then set it to grass, and toss all this grass over top of everything, and it'll look super nice, super fancy, nicely grassed up area. Super great, and you've got it all sorted and stuff and things. And this is kind of laggy on this server because it's 1 gig, but yeah, this is kind of how it works. And then if we just get a nice little shot, we've got a nice bit of terrain going up around here with the little spikies and the spikies on the opposite end, and now we've got this nice arch over here. And yeah, that's basically it for the first episode, the terrain. Next episode we'll be probably looking into kind of planning out how everything's gonna plan out, where we're gonna put some houses, maybe where we're gonna put other stuff, and yeah, that's gonna be step 2. So thanks for watching this episode. Hit that like button if you enjoyed. I hope you did, and subscribe of course if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time.